Good YouTube, Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that instant analysis on the Detroit Pistons getting in a tough game against the Timberwolves. But they was up by 20 in this game, and the Timberwolves did cut it back down to single digits. But they really held everybody in check in this game outside of Anthony Edwards. He was basically doing the same thing the entire game, which was catch or dribble, go off a screen a little bit, set your feet, and follow through real nicely. He was very good with doing his repetition and his follow through, and he was just knocking down three after three after three after three. And if he got contested, he'd put the ball on the floor and get to the free throw line, and then he will either try to make a layup or do a little push shot. And it worked. Like Anthony Edwards has that Little Caesar record with that 53-point game, the most by anybody. And I like what I seen out of him, and that's basically how he's going to have to play outside of just trying to find somebody for a direct basket when he does give up the ball. But if he doesn't have nobody he wants to give it up to, he is going to have to take over games and dominate games more if he wants to get this Timberwolves team more wins. As he is the best player and he is their best option offensively, it's tough to be the best player at 23. It's tough when your pieces don't fit as well as they should. And it's tough when you're not really defending as a team either. And that's why they're 17 and 17 and 8 and 10 away from their home. And the Pistons, they improved to 17 and 18, and they're 8 and 8 at home. And they won this game 119 to 105. Julius Randle, he continued to use that handle, and that handle is what helped make him a better player because it gave him more things he could do offensively, and it allowed him to score in a variety of different ways, making him a tough cover. And it also helps him get to the free throw line because you don't know what he's trying to do, because instead of him just banging and banging like he used to, he's finding other ways to attack you. And he had minus 20 and plus minus and 4 personal fouls and 3 turnovers, but he did finish with 6 assists, 7 rebounds, and 2 of them was offensive. He was 5 of 5 from the free throw line. He was 0 of 4 from 3, and he had some ones that he forced in his game, and they just didn't fall. But he also was 6 of 12 overall from the field, and you will take that. But Jaden McDaniels only had 8 points. He was a minus 2 and plus minus 4 personal fouls, 1 turnover. He did have his 3 steals and 5 rebounds. He was one of them was offensive, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 1 of 2 from 3, 3 of 6 from the field. Rudy Gobert didn't rebound because the Pistons really didn't miss that much. And on top of that, it wasn't really no offensive rebounds he could really get because he had to screen so much that he was finding himself out of the paint. And the Pistons tried to keep him out the paint as much as they could too, and it was a good strategy. 2 of them was offensive. Of the 6 rebounds, 0 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 of 6 from the field. Mike Conley, like I said, he hasn't really gave them much offensively when it comes to scoring the basketball this season, but he was minus 18 and plus minus. He had 0 points, 1 personal foul, 1 turnover. He had 2 steals and 5 assists. He was 0 of 3 from the 3-point line and 0 of 4 from the field. That just can't happen if you're trying to win games at this point. Anthony Edwards, like I said, he did go for the 53 points. He was a minus 3 and plus minus. He did have 4 personal fouls. He had 6 turnovers because they was forcing him to make quick decisions, and they capitalized off the advantage of him not making the decision he really wanted to make, and that gave the Pistons some advantages. 2 assists, 6 rebounds. One was offensive, 11 of 12 from the free throw line, 10 of 15 from the 3-point line, and 16 of 31 from the field. When Anthony Edwards is making threes like he made tonight, the team really can get hurt because even though he's scoring a bunch, guys are getting out of rhythm, guys are not as motivated, and guys just stand around, and it just makes it easier to guard. Now, you still got to score, and you still got to put points on the board, but they would basically let Anthony Edwards have those shots, and they didn't really fight or really try to take it away. It seemed like that's something they wanted him to do, and he punished them for it, but it just didn't help them win the game because, like I said, they was down by 20 in this game. Naz Reid, 9 points, minus 7 and plus minus 2 personal fouls, 1 assist, 3 rebounds, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 2 of 4 from 3. He was 2 of 7 from the field. He was neutralized and then didn't really do much in those 25 minutes. Dante DiVincenzo didn't really do much either. He had 5 points, minus 10 and plus minus one personal foul, 3 turnovers, 2 steals, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. One was offensive. 1 of 5 from three, 2 of 6 from the field. And then Nickel, he was the same. 7 points for him, minus 8 and plus minus 3 personal fouls, 2 blocks, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 2 of 7 from three, 2 of 8 from the field. The rest of the guys did not play. Coach's decision. 34 of 80, 42% from the field, 16 of 40, 40% from three, mainly because of Anthony Edwards, because he made 10 of them. 21 of 26, 80% from the free throw line. Anthony Edwards had 12 of those too. 7 offensive rebounds as a team, 33 rebounds total, 20 assists, 7 steals, 4 blocks, 17 turnovers, 21 personal fouls, and 105 points. And then the Detroit Pistons. I like the rebounding that Tobias Harris did tonight. He finished with 11, and he did have his 16 points, and he did space the floor with those 2 of 5 from the three-point line. He got to the free throw line, too. He was 4 of 4, perfect from the stripe, 5 of 13 from the field. He did have 4 assists, 4 turnovers, 5 personal fouls, and he was a +9 and plus minus. Or Thomas got a nice off the backboard alley-oop from Cade Cunningham. It was cool to see that. He finished with double-digit points, and because Jaden Ivey damaged his fibula. 10 points for him, +16 and plus minus 2 personal foul, 1 turnover, 6 steals, which was really good to see, 2 assists and 10 rebounds, so a double-double for Ausar Thompson. 3 of his rebounds was offensive. He was 5 of 5 from the field because he had some great opportunities, and he was able to turn them in. For points, Tim Hardaway Jr., 7 points for him, -2 and plus minus 1 personal foul, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 1 from the free throw line, 1 of 6 from three, 3 of 9 from the field. And Jalen Duren, he was held off the boards a little bit tonight because he only played 23 minutes. He finished with 5 points, +3 and plus minus. He did have 5 personal fouls, 1 block, 2 steals, 3 assists, 7 rebounds. 5 of them was offensive, 1 or 2 from the free throw line, 2 or 4 from the field. And then Cade continues showing you that he should be an all-star player this year with a 40-point performance. He really helped guide them in the fourth quarter, making good decisions, passing the ball. He did have 1 real ugly turnover before he could even cross the half-court line. But other than that, he was hitting threes, hitting mid-ranges, finding guys throughout the fourth and throughout the entire game. That really helped them have a good balanced attack to stay ahead, and they never really looked back really after that first quarter. +24 and plus minus, 3 personal foul, 3 turnovers, 1 steal, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, 6 of 7 from the free throw line, 4 of 8 from three, 15 of 29 from the field. Ronald Holland, 8 points, +16 and plus minus, 2 personal foul, 2 turnovers, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. 1 of was offensive, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 2 of 3 from the field. Isaiah Stewart, 8 points, +11 and plus minus, 2 personal foul, 1 block, 3 assists, 6 rebounds. 1 was offensive, 1 from three, 4 of 8 from the field. Malik Beasley, 23 points for him, +4 and plus minus, 1 personal foul, 1 turnover, 3 steals, 1 assist, 2 rebounds, 1 or 2 from the free throw line, 6 of 14 from three, 8 of 17 from the field. He has been one of their best players all season, and he was the only guy to score in double figures for both benches, and he did it very, very good because he scored over 20 points. And he shot very good from the three-point line, and he was able to attack the basket a little bit too and get some of them easy buckets. And Marcus Sasser, 2 points, -11 and plus minus, 1 personal foul, 1 turnover, 1 rebound, 0 of 4 from the three-point line. He was 1 of 5 from the field. The rest of the guys did not play. Coach's decision: 45 and 93, 48% from the field, 13 of 38, 34% from three, 16 of 20, 80% from the free throw line. 13 rebounds was offensive. They had 47 rebounds, which means they out-rebounded them basically by 14. 26 assists, 12 steals, which was the reason why they stayed ahead. 2 blocks, 12 turnovers as a team, which is better than what the Wolves did. And 22 personal fouls. They fouled 1 more time than the Wolves did, but they scored 119 points. And they got their job done today, and they can go home happy and sleep well because they getting closer and closer to being a legitimate playoff team. Now I think that they should just try to pick up another piece or two to add to the bench or add to their depth, especially because Jaden Ivey is out with a significant injury, to increase their chances of being a playoff team by the time the season is over. And health is going to be the most important part. And losing one of your best players is going to be tough, especially because he's going to be gone for a long period of time. So getting a guy that can really provide shooting and ball creation, even if you can get two of those guys like the Lakers end up doing, that will really help this team, survive and be able to continue to pick up games that they should win and still compete against the better teams out there to give themselves a chance to be either in the play-in tournament or the playoffs. And we look at the Timberwolves, they're in the same predicament where they got a young star that everybody knew was going to be the number one pick probably, and everybody knew that he was going to be a star. We knew he was going to be an all-star, and it came to fruition. Now you're building around him to see if you can get him to lead you to a championship or back to the playoffs, because they fell off that bad this year after trading Towns, and they haven't really been able to find their mojo this entire season. And even though they're 500 and even though they look like they're a good team sometimes, that's why we said they're going to be a good team. They're going to be in the playoff conversation, but that's a failure type of season for a team that had higher expectations going into the offseason, and now they degraded their roster and downgraded it to a point where you wonder what are they going in the future. Like, I know Julius Randle contract is almost over, but who really wants to come to Minnesota? Like, you're going to probably have to trade for a disgruntled guy to be able to pair him with Anthony Edwards, unless you lose a lot of games and get a top pick and you hit on that and they can grow with Anthony Edwards, but you kind of had that already. Now you got to go a couple years of retooling in rebuilding first, then go into a retool to be able to become back the team that you once were. Now I understand that Rudy is older, Mike Conley is older, and that type of team didn't really work. But this team is worse than that team. At least you had a higher upside, and if the matchups go your way, you probably could get to the finals, especially this year when there's a lot of injuries, and you can take a lot of that ground and get a good seed in because Town's been healthy for the majority of this season. And that's crazy because Julius Randle has been healthy, but he hasn't had the same impact or made the same amount of difference. And he hasn't really made sense for them outside of just getting in the way. And he is a good player. He is one of the better power forwards in the league, but he's not going to really do much for you when you have a guy like Anthony Edwards that needs the ball and he prefers to score the ball than pass the ball. He said it himself that he's a bucket. I'd rather just get buckets instead of guys, but I have to do that because the defense forces me to adjust. And these guys aren't the greatest scorers or the greatest shooters that I'm paired with, and that's why this team is struggling. The GM has to take some of the knock on why this team isn't as successful as they were last year, because he ultimately had to make the decision to put this team in this predicament. So they're playing the best that they can play. You can argue that they should be playing better. Well, you can say that about a lot of teams, but this team isn't what they was going to be. They wasn't going to be a better version of themselves. They wasn't going to be a greater team. I knew that there's going to take some adjustment period. I knew that he wasn't the perfect fit for this team. And then Mike Conley and Gobert are a year older on top of that, so they're not going to be as good as they were before. But all you can really do is go out there and compete, and they've been competing, and Anthony Edwards complains so much about what they don't do as a team, even when it comes to communication, even when it comes to trying to